Well, apparently, it's now official. Did you know that the founder of Dfinity, Dominic Williams, recently announced that they're going to be launching a DEX? Wow, and it's actually going to be called Multi-DEX. Pretty impressive stuff, right? Just when we thought that it was at its peak after Caffeine AI version 3 and after the concept of cloud engines, after we became aware of that, everyone thought, oh yeah, that's kind of the peak when it comes to Dfinity. But they're like, wait, no, hold up. There's something else that's hypothetically upcoming. And I'll talk about that in today's video. I'll talk about the impact of it maybe, and I'll give my thoughts on it, even though nothing I say is financial advice, and even though I am not telling anyone to do anything. So yes, it's easy for people to say, who cares about this nonsense as of right now? The internet computer is still at below $3. So what is this all about? Why does it even matter? Well, it's because the thing is this. Yeah, sure, there is a lot of projects out there that are focused on stuff like this. There's many projects out there that care about a DEX, for instance. But when it comes to Dfinity, they're kind of taking their own spin at this, because we got to consider, even Dominic Williams says himself that it's going to be running on an internet computer cloud engine. So this is pretty impressive stuff right here. Not to mention, he genuinely says it's multi-chain. So we got to let that sink in. That's another feature right there. Furthermore, we take a look at how he also says it's 100% open source. So yeah, sure. I mean, there are a lot of projects out there that are focused on stuff like this, but Dfinity, they're taking their own approach. It's like taking their own angle at it, or their own spin at it, I should say. It's like, for instance, a lot of people make pizza, right? But each restaurant, each place, they're going to have their different flavor or their different sort of way they cook that pizza. So it's a bit no different here. This is like Dfinity taking their approach at pizza or a hamburger or cheeseburger or whatever. But then when it comes to this space, it's a little bit different, but that's the analogy that I would use. But this is when it comes to a DEX. And one thing I do know, though, is that Dfinity, they often put an actual effort. Like, you can actually tell there's that hypothetical, I guess, attention when it comes to what they build. Because, for instance, from Caffeine AI, what I noticed is that they're putting a lot of attention to detail. Not to mention, when it comes to cloud engines, it looks very professional. So when it comes to something like this, it just gives me the vibe that it's something that is well thought out, if that kind of makes sense, right? It's like sometimes when we go inside a building, we kind of can feel whether or not it was actually built with quality or not, right? We can just kind of feel it. Like, no one has to really break it down for me, like, oh, we use this cement or we use this stone or whatever. Not really. Sometimes we go inside a building and we're like, oh, wow, you could just feel it, right? So it's a little bit no different here. So they're just taking their own approach at it. Now, when is this gonna be launching? I mean, who knows specifically? And sure, some people can say, oh, it's this date or it's whatever date. But sometimes things can have delays. So there's no way for sure, as of right now, in my opinion. I'll believe it when I see it. But as of right now, one thing we do know, though, is that when it comes to Dominic Williams, he says this is a lot to take in, which I agree. He wrote like a very long statement when it comes to this. He wrote an essay, basically, in my opinion. But he says he's aiming to get a new demo video, so a new demonstration video, out as soon as possible. So it should be out in about a week, allegedly. Yeah, but I'll believe it when I see it. But nonetheless, making a DEX is really nothing new, but when I take a look at the features, it just gives me more of this fresh type of vibe, in which case, it's kind of like, okay, I've seen a lot of DEXs, but this one feels a little bit different. This is what I like about it. So when people like to say, wow, Dfinity, they spent around $500 million on research and development, which is allegedly true. They even made a post about it themselves not too long ago. But I'm just saying, besides that, that seems like a lot. But if we consider what they're working on behind the scenes, the team that they have, and if we take a look at it not too long ago, even Pierre, who is the chief business officer of Dfinity, he went to Paris, France, where he met with the United Nations Development Program team. Remember that meeting or that conference or whatever in regard to the blockchain advisory group? Yeah. Pierre, he went there. So we got to consider this. Dfinity, they formed a pretty robust team. They're launching actual products, and they're actually delivering on some of those products, like for instance in the case of Caffeine AI, and we even have version 3 as of right now. So spending around $500 million on research and development, especially over years, it wasn't just like at one specific moment like that. Allegedly, it was spread out, right? But people like to say, oh, it's a waste, but we're kind of seeing a hypothetical result of it in terms of the products that they launch. So it's not like it's a flop or anything. It's not like they misused it, allegedly. It's not like that. So I do like seeing this. Now, people like to say, but yeah, the internet computer is around $2.35. This is really bad. But okay, if we ignore this for a second, I think the magnitude of what Dfinity could do through multi-dex, it could kind of change this space a little bit. This is just my perspective, because if we take a look at it, historically speaking, when it comes to DEX, we take a look at Uni, right? Uniswap, something like that. I mean, it's fine, like PancakeSwap, and those are the ones that are very popular. But it doesn't mean that other competitors can't come around. That's just my mindset. However, even besides that point, though, the fact that the internet computer is improving by this much, the fact that Dfinity is announcing all this type of stuff, and yet the internet computer is still below $3, it's kind of comical to me. I kind of find it a little bit funny, but not in a literal sense, but in just a kind of disbelief sort of sense, because the project is just way better than last year. And I think it's even way better than the year before that too. So I think that the internet computer is way better than in 2024, and also when compared to 2025. In 2026, I think that arguably the internet computer is the best it's ever been doing, fundamentally. Not in terms of the price charts. The price charts are not looking good whatsoever, but it depends who you ask though, right? Because some people don't mind the dip, but I'm saying when it comes to just the pure fundamentals, it's just way better this year than last year and the year before that. Because let's think about this. In 2024, yeah, sure, we saw almost $19, but we didn't see all of this, right? We saw Caffeine AI version 3, keep in mind, in 2026. Cloud Engines, it's the closest it's ever been to hypothetically being fully launched, allegedly. And we're in 2026, right? We did see the demo not too long ago, but again, all that type of stuff is in 2026. You know what I mean? So when I take a look at it as well, multi-dex, if it launches this year, then, it's in 2026. Again, it's just way better fundamentally when compared to 2025 and 2024. So it became way cheaper when compared to before, because in 2024 it was almost at $19, and in November of 2025 it was around $9. So again, we're over 6 times lower than the peak in 2024, and we're over 3 times lower than November of 2025. But yet it's multiple times better, in my opinion, when it comes to the project's fundamentals. So if something became better, yet it became cheaper, would I complain? No, not necessarily. And let me show you what I mean by this. I'm going to use a prop, right? Take a look at this, for instance. So this is a backpack that I bought, and the brand is, oh wait, where is it? Oh yeah, it's Air. Can you see it? It's AER. So they have like a store in San Francisco and also in New York, by the way. But, if I take a look at something like this, for instance, if this, let's say, became better, right? Would it become cheaper? No, right? It wouldn't make any sense, because things usually in real life don't become cheaper if it's better. But when it comes to this space, it kind of works that way for whatever reason. How does that make sense? Well, that's just how the space is. But I'm not going to complain. That's the thing. If this had a discount, would I complain? No. I didn't get it at a discount, though. It would have been cool, but I didn't, So, yeah, this is a really awesome backpack, by the way. I'm not like a part of their team or anything like that. I just thought it was really cool. That's just kind of my mindset. But yeah, besides that point, I'm going to put my backpack, back. But yeah, it is what it is when it comes to the internet computer. It's low as of right now, but I don't mind for dollar cost averaging reasons anyways. But I'll be sure to keep everyone updated when it comes to this, because again, when they're planning to launch a DEX, I'm a little bit curious when it comes to what Dfinity could be doing. But as of right now, I don't know the full details because I haven't even seen the demo yet, but allegedly it's going to be next week. So we'll see when it comes to that, but I'll be sure to make an update when it comes to that as well. I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's been Lee the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.